I believe it's episode 635 of the Working Class Bowhunter podcast, but we're not really sure.
I'll believe you.
You believe me, Doug?
Yep.
Well, if it isn't, whatever.
Eric, would you believe me?
I believe you. I have faith in you.
Our guest in studio might have the coolest name of all names that's ever been in the studio. Mr. Gunnar Kimber is here.
Yeah, that's me.
Is your parents like gun people, or what happened?
Not really. It was my mom came up with the name back in the day, and it was like a good, Scandinavian name or whatever. My great grandpa thought it was pretty cool, so she's like, I will stick with that.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
And it just worked out like that.
I like it.
I like that a lot too. Well, thanks for being here. You got a great buck story that we're going to dive into.
Yeah.
But nothing says welcome to our studio like having us make you sit through some of our ads. So we're going to do that first.
That's fine by me.
That would be the nicest
the whole
thing
experience.
That would be the nicest thing for us to do is make you sit while we talk.
That'd be the nicest thing?
I mean, it could be worse.
It could be worse.
It could be worse.
We could make him read all the ads.
How about just for that, we make you read all the ads?
I don't want to do it.
Oh, here we go.
The podcast is brought to you by
Elite Archery. Yep.
And what else do you like about Elites?
Getting the new ethos set up, and gotta wait for our arrows to get in here, and then I just gotta dial it in and then I use from Dialed Archery. I got the blue tape to match that.
Void dial.
Yeah, it's the closest I got to teal. I don't know if they have teal or not yet.
They got the Malibu color.
Ooh, they got the Malibu.
I have to get that now.
You have to get that one.
Have all these blue components.
That's so much blue.
You know what is big right now? Pear. Pear is all the craze at Big Time.
Bricked up for pairs.
Bricked up.
So we had a commercial idea because for some reason everyone is obsessed with you doing Big Time lick brick ads. Mm-hmm. That you just are working on the center of a lick brick, licking it, and it's all wallered out in the middle.
Okay.
And you just got...
That's it. I don't know about that.
Everyone's laughing behind the scenes. It made me laugh.
I don't know about that.
And then you just had pear dust all over your mustache when we walk in, and you've just been
Munching on a pear brick or what?
I don't know.
just looking at that thing for hours.
That's it?
Yeah.
Just cut to Big Time.
Yeah.
Like he's sitting in here doing
I don't
it?
even say anything. I just look up.
Huh?
Yeah, dude. You know how funny that would be? Well, yeah, I'm crying laughing about how funny it'd be. The visual in my head is so funny.
Did you just make this up?
No, me and Nick were talking about the other day. I'm like, how fucking funny would it be? Just like get one and make it look like it was just wallered out in the center. You know what I'm talking about? When like deer just paw at the ground.
Oh, yeah.
It's that. But you ever like when you were a kid, you ever get like those giant jawbreakers? Mm-hmm. And you had to like, you know what I'm talking about, Jordan? You still are a child. You ever had one of those?
He had one yesterday.
The big ass ones.
It's yelling right now.
It's like a monster truck tire. Remember
You got to
those?
sit there like a deer would at a mineral site, like a lick brick, and just go to town on that thing. And that's what you could do. Like, it was so good because it's the pear.
Yeah.
You had to have it.
Maybe.
And if Doug likes it that much, so will your deer.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, pour sell on it. My visual in my head, if I could share that with you, you would be all about it.
All right.
We'd be laughing too, I guess.
You would be laughing just as hard. Nick and I were laughing really hard at the Iowa show about that idea. But pears all the craze, code WCB 2024. In flat rate shipping with Big Time with that code for pallets too. Anywhere in the country, a pallet flat rate.
Get your bricks.
Which seems like a loss for them.
It's a great deal if you think about it.
On shipping. What's it cost to ship a pallet to like Idaho?
I don't know.
That can't be fucking cheap. But
Could be expensive as fuck.
podcast also brought to you by Huntworth Gear. Huntworthgear.com. Code WCB15. Tarnin is all the craze to me.
Darn it. I like them all.
Gunnar,
like
what
all
are you
the
running?
patterns.
You're a Huntworth guy, you said?
Yep, Tarnin.
Tarnin.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Tarnin guy.
I'm Tarnin.
Is it mean to be so biased on Tarnin? Not that their other patterns aren't great. Tarnin hit.
Tarnin just blends in with everything.
Yeah.
No
I
matter
think so.
where you are, really, it kind of...
From snow to desert. Somehow.
Most versatile.
Tarnin.
Okay.
Just Tarnin.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Old Barn Taxidermy is mounting our deer. Well, tried to mount our deer at the Iowa show. Well, they did mount. They mount my heavy 10. They mounted Doug's buck.
I also helped mount it, so it was pretty awesome.
What'd you do?
I tucked the lips in the mouth.
Tuck the lips, huh?
Yeah, Sam's like,
Dude, your buck twice as cool looking on a shoulder mount.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it looks
It's
really
like
good.
The prettiest shaped buck ever. Tall tines, baby.
It's a beaut.
It's hard to hate them.
But yeah, it was awesome. Sam taught me the ropes, and pretty much a taxidermist now.
Oh, all right.
You quit your day job?
Yep, already did.
Oh, you did?
You want to hear some fucked up shit? We had a bad run of capes.
We did.
So we should talk about this because
Bad luck.
Eric's swam in some water for a while.
Yep, mine was in water for over 24 hours, so
Yeah.
laying on its right side, and Sam calls me. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to mount this at the show.
Yeah, well, it's never... Is it savable? Did it slip?
He says it might be savable, but he just didn't want to bring the show, and then it wasn't savable, and then so
Yeah.
he's going to check on it this week and see if he can do it or not.
So, and then Floppy, he had that mass. I told that story. He had that big giant mass, and then it was gone like 2 days later. So I'm like, well, he popped it somehow, which is disgusting. But when Austin and I recovered him, we rolled him over, and Austin was like investigating it, and he's like, I bet you this is going to slip. All that hair around there.
And it's still, it was kind of loose and stuff, wasn't
It
it?
was loose, and it was just soaked.
Right.
But, and you know, that's infection.
Yep.
So I'm like, yeah, I bet you that slips. And,
Yeah.
And Sam's like, it's just not pretty.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, yeah, good call. So we didn't mount it at the show, but I'm gonna have to do like a full sneak on them, which we're gonna get into the losing capes. I think a little more on this episode. It sounds like.
But my cape was perfect, and it got mounted at the Deer Classic.
See, I think that's why mine slipped, because it got really,
Shut up.
that cold front
Sorry.
came through, but the water was still super warm, you know? So he probably would have been better off if he wasn't in the water. But
Water's not good anyway.
right.
You know.
But it's better if it's
Yeah,
freezing.
water sucks.
Right. It's like an ice bath. But Old Barn was killing it. Their booth looked great at the Iowa show,
And my barrel's there.
dude. Which, by the way, Iowa Classic
Massive.
was like over a month ago in real world
Oh.
to this launching.
Okay.
But your bear did look incredible. Like the best bear mount I've ever seen. Up there for sure.
Oh, dude, that thing is badass.
I can't wait to get it here.
I know.
It's so big we have to wait for our addition to get done.
I don't think it'll fit in a house like a regular house.
I think it'll fit through a doorway though, won't it? Can it?
I don't know.
I'm
The
sure it
rocks,
would.
like maybe.
I don't know.
Dude, yeah, Keaton killed the base on that. Everything looks incredible.
Everything's just
dude.
perfect.
It looks so good. Moving on. Trophy line. Running the Venatic, of course. Code WCB. Blackgate trail cameras. Code WCB10. Running them. Looking for some turkeys nowadays. Black Ovis camo fire. Turkey decoys. I got that. What I get from Black Ovis.
AB next.
Maybe
Oh,
next.
the HDR
The Jake, yeah.
with the changeable head.
Changeable head.
So sick.
You'll put her to the test here pretty soon.
I'm pumped about it. I got home the other day and both the turkeys' heads were laying in my living room, and the kids were playing with the turkey heads.
By now, you already used it?
Be right in here somewhere. Yeah,
Okay.
trying to scale that. Novix, the new colors. I'm a green guy.
Green.
Tan's
green
sick though. Tan's still.
They're
pretty
all
sick.
dope.
Tan's all right. Green.
Okay.
I think green's going to be the way to go.
Mountain Ops. Excuse me. Code WCB gets you 20%, saves you 20%, and donates 5 meals to conquer hunger. So don't be a shitty person and use that code.
Put the monsters down. Pick up the Ignite.
That's right.
That's right.
Damn, Ryman. Glacier Ice, Fiery Pineapple.
I like
Two new
Glacier.
flavors.
I like Glacier Ice.
Glacier Ice is
But
fire.
I forgot the other one. The Old Sun.
Oh, Old Sun Punch.
Old Sun Punch is my favorite so far.
All those are not available by the time this releases.
You don't think they'll be available?
They're limited time ones, aren't they?
They're limited
Yeah, but I think
time
they'll be
ones.
for the summer.
Jordan, what are you doing?
Shut up, Jordan. You don't even have a mic. What do you know? He probably knows
Hey.
more than us.
Zip it.
Says there's only a couple days left to get it.
You better get on there and use code WCB. Nice. Create some urgency. Good job, Jordan. Get in there. We need to have you a side mic for you. Also, Deercast. Running Deercast. That's our mapping app of choice. And I'll be using that for spring food
The
plots.
way to go.
Dougcast, Deercast. We have a link in the episode description. Click on that. Save you some money. Loophole Optics. What do you think of the new BX4 Gen 2s?
Ooh, they are.
I like the new
Crispy.
iCups. I do.
iCups.
I'm a fan.
The eye cups are nice.
Big fan. Big fan. Rat Cub. you can click the link in our description. Use code WCB at Rack Hub. Save yourself some money there. Victory arrows, dialed archery, slick trick broadheads. That's the partners.
Hell yeah.
Throwing them a little
Check them out.
awkwardly.
All of them.
You got a veteran shout out?
I do. I got to burp real quick.
Hold on. Do I have the music preloaded, do you think? Let's experiment. Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. That's nice.
Are you
like
getting
that?
into it? Getting into it?
I am. This was submitted by Derek Frazier, and the veteran is Matt Landon. It says in the Army, says Matt and I have been in the Army buddies since 2009 when we were stationed in Colorado. We started hanging out and duck hunting, and after an Iraq deployment in 2012, I convinced Matt to buy a bow and get on some archery hunts with me. We only get to hunt together for about a week each year between the Army and family commitments, but it's always a good time. Broke him into the WCB podcast at elk camp this year over some bush lattes.
Oh.
So thanks for submitting that, Derek and Matt. I guess thank you to both for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
Derek
both
and
of them.
Matt, thank you guys.
You guys are awesome.
Hell
Cheers,
yeah.
boys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Clink, clink.
Clink, clink, clink.
Clink, clink. Good job, Doug.
That was a good one. You're
Hooked on Phonics is working.
yeah.
I've been really studying.
Have you?
Yeah. On the
proud-
road, because we're road dogs.
I'm proud of you.
Let's get this crank for Doug for a minute.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I needed this today. It's a big moment for me.
Hey, you look good. You smell good.
Oh, thank you.
You read good.
Oh, thanks. Luckily, I'm done reading.
All right. Welcome to the podcast. Mr. Kimber, thank you for being patient with us while we do that, so we don't have to do it later.
Yeah, thank you
How
for
was it?
having me here.
Was it good?
It was good. It was wonderful.
All right.
A plus.
Just making sure.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Dude, you got a story on your hands here. So I got an Instagram message.
From my old lady.
Yeah, bless her heart.
Yep.
It might have been a couple months ago now, I think. I've lost all track of the concept of time. Yeah, just basically like, hey, I don't know if you do these things, but I got a cool story. And I was like, that does sound cool. Let's do it. That's essentially how it went down. And next thing I know, you're like, hey, what's up? I'm here. We're doing this.
Yep.
So thank you for coming in studio to do this.
Thanks for making the drive down.
Thanks for getting getting back to her and actually,
Actually responding.
yeah, which I knew that you would. But
Thank you.
The story is just simply who did it.
Thank you.
she gave it to me as like a Christmas present type of deal.
a hell of a
So I
present.
walked out with a calendar with it marked on there, and it said working class podcast, and I was like, well, what's that? And like, oh, you're gonna be on a podcast.
What the hell?
What the hell?
No shit.
Like, holy shit. Like, I've always wanted to meet you guys, but I didn't think the first time was gonna be here doing a podcast. I figured
Yeah.
it'd be, if we went to like the Iowa show or Wisconsin show or something like that.
Yeah.
But
So,
no,
so
here
she
we
put it
are.
on like a print out calendar. That's
Yep.
cool.
That
Yep.
is awesome.
Well, dude, I
What
appreciate
a badass.
Yeah, thinking highly of us to do that. That's awesome. But it's a big deal you came here to do it in person with us, so I really appreciate you
Yeah, I
guys.
figured it'd be more of a experience rather than doing it, over the phone or over
Yeah.
Skype or whatever the hell they call it.
They're half podcasts when they're on the phone or on Skype. I mean, you can still do a good podcast, but
They're just not the same.
Yeah.
it's a different experience. Well, we have this. It'd be a giant waste of money if we didn't utilize the studio like we do. So,
Yeah.
That is true.
you know what I mean? 'Cause we'd be
Like, why even have it?
sitting in an attic
It'd
somewhere.
be cool for us to hang out at. That's it.
So, how long have you been listening?
Since 2019.
Damn.
Oh damn.
It's a haul.
Yeah. So I don't even remember really how I first started listening. I was just going through podcasts, and I wanted to get into bow hunting. I hadn't really ever bow hunted much because my grandpa, he was a big part of my life, and he was big into hunting. He got me and my old man into hunting, and he was a big bow hunter, just old school. I mean, recurve. He had like the Jason masks.
Oh yeah.
He painted them camo. He'd wear them fuckers.
No way.
Face
That's
mask out
fucking
in the woods,
awesome.
You still have any of them?
Yep.
Oh, you do?
You did.
Yep.
You can send us a picture. That's awesome.
And then, he'd just like make his own blinds, and he'd just do some off the wall stuff, and it would work out. And he never shot like any real big giants or anything,
Yeah.
but he was always, I mean,
He's always killing shit.
he was always killing a buck. It was always when deer season was here, it was, yep, we're going over to Grandpa's, see what he has hanging.
Just in his Jason mask.
Dude, he'd paint
Yeah, he'd paint the Jason mask.
because they're just
and
old
wear
school
it.
hockey masks, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
No
Then
shit.
he wouldn't get the glare off your face,
kinda
he
cool.
said, and it's like,
It'd scare the shit out of me if I saw
well,
it,
that's
but-
what, yeah, you're walking through the woods and you seen him walking, I'd be like,
That dude's nuts.
Probably go somewhere else.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's insane.
So yeah, he got me into hunting big time, and it was always just rifle hunting. I mean, that's basically what I had always done. And then, so I'm 30 now. The first time ever bow hunting, I was 15. No, yeah, 15, I believe. It was just a spur of the moment thing. I had an old bow from him, and I went out behind my parents' house and shot a doe in the guts. Lost her, and then I didn't really want to do it anymore. I was like, yeah, I didn't feel right about it. Like, maybe it isn't my thing. Of course, you know, I hadn't fucking practiced or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then 2019, 2018, somewhere in there, I got back into it basically because I quit drinking for, it's been 5.5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of what helped me. Like, I just spent pretty much every minute I had, I was in the woods doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try bow hunting again. So I got an old bear bow from him. I didn't like sights, so I just shot it like old school, like a recurve. I even, you know, had the angle shooting like that,
Oh,
aiming
really?
down the arrow. And 2018 was the first deer I shot with the bow and actually recovered, and that was this little 8-pointer.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it just kind of took off.
You're just hooked.
Yeah, I was like, all right, now I can get into this for sure.
So
And,
did you shoot that little 8-pointer with no sight?
yep,
Cool. Okay.
That is
thir-
crazy.
32 yards, and just aimed down the arrow. I had been practicing for pretty much all summer. And
Yeah.
That's
it was
awesome.
like the second weekend, I think, and
Do
just a little racky come out, and I just started like, oh, God,
see that?
here we go.
Do the Fitzgeralds? They shoot fingers with like new Matthews, but do they use sights? Do you know?
Back in the day, I don't think they did. I'm not sure if they do now, but
Because they're still shooting fingers, right?
Still. Let me.
Look them up. There's got to be a picture of them still shooting.
my
somewhere.
grandpa, he watched a lot of them Fitzgerald stuff.
Yeah, they're like
Did your grandpa always use a recurve, never switched?
I used compound. He had
Okay.
an old Martin.
Old Mart.
Yep.
I wonder. I'll have to look that up. Okay.
That thing is a son of a bitch to pull back.
I'm sure it was.
Like 90 pounds.
I think he was shooting like 70. When I was
But just the
little,
way
he's
the
like,
bow
"Here,
is,
Go,
it's-
go take this out and see if you can shoot it. And it's,
Rip your shoulder out.
and then if you did get it back, there was no let off. I mean, it was felt like you're just still pulling 70 pounds holding it.
Yeah, right here. Instinctive. How old's this video? Yeah. Oh yeah, he has no sights and fingers. 75-year-old
Dan the man.
In the man.
Dan Fitzgerald's a legend. So, were you shooting with the release or fingers when you did that?
Fingers.
Fingers. You were
Yeah.
going full Fitzgerald style.
Yep.
You know, I respect it.
It's kind of cool. I mean,
It's a
Super cool.
It's a different way of doing things. I've
Yeah.
been seeing that, like the Sion Cerulus, Ralph and Vicky, and RJ have been doing that with no sight. They've been like shooting down, and I get it. But just shoot a fucking recurve at that point. Like, what are we doing?
see, I think a big part of it was I did a lot of bow fishing.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I did that before I got into bow hunting.
And that's
it
basically
was-
how you bow fish.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
aim down the arrow, you just let her buck, and
Let her buck. We'll get back to Fitzgerald later in the episode when I'm more drunk. But that's cool. That's a cool journey
Yeah.
of it. So 30 yards, that's a haul. Okay.
and then after that, I got a PSE Nova. I think was the first bow that I actually bought.
That was my first one, too.
Had sights on that and got that one all dialed in and started hunting with that. And now I'm shooting a Bowtech, which it just fits me good. It was one of them deals where it was a good price. And
Do you think we're
well,
going to bash you?
I didn't figure.
Bash you
No.
on air? We bashed you before the podcast. But
I've looked at elites. I like them. I've shot them. It's just right
Dude,
now I'm
they're-
kind of set on what I got.
they're all,
Right.
nothing's wrong with that, dude. They're all good. That's a,
Yeah.
I had We had a very strange interaction at the Iowa Deer Classic. I don't know if you guys are around for this. Guy comes up, grabs our card. What bows do you guys shoot? It was like a middle-aged, maybe a little older than middle-aged guy. We're like, elite. Ever shoot PSE? It's like, no.
Oh, I was there for this.
No. But they're all good. You know, it was weird. And then his like wife was behind him, like pointing at him behind him, like saying something. And I like and it was weird. He was like confrontational. And so automatically I come off a little sarcastic and I'm like, no, Elite pays us too much money to shoot anything else. And then he was like, okay. And I was like, yep. And then he walked away and we were like, what the fuck was that?
I don't know what he was going at there.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a little side story. But the bottom line is they're all good now.
They're all good.
Yeah, I'm, you know, just whatever fits you good.
Exactly.
Yep.
Pretty much.
It's the feel you want. What feel do you like out of a bow is the bottom line.
Yeah.
So cool. So rocking the bow tech.
Yeah, and it just I've been big into rifle hunting. Like I said, that's pretty much all I had ever done. So I got, well, with this one it'll be number 6 for shoulder mounts, but the 5 prior to this one have all been with a gun. And there's a spot that I always hunt every opener, and pretty much all season I'll sit there with the gun. I don't care what, if it's shitty, windy, whatever, that's the spot I'm going to be, just because it's basically a narrow field, and it kind of comes down about 300 yards, and then it does an L and comes back up. And in that little point, I guess you could call it, back in the day, my grandpa pushed up a bunch of rocks and gravel and stuff and dug a hole in the top of it, planted some trees, and so you can see like 300 yards to the one area and then a couple hundred to the other side.
Well, that's pretty cool.
And then there's this heavy traffic.
How big is the rock pile?
I suppose it's probably 10 feet above like the field ground or whatever.
Oh,
Ground
really?
level.
That's kind of an interesting way of doing things.
Yeah.
Dude, your grip was awesome.
That's
Thought of everything.
He thought of everything.
He dug a lot of holes. Like I've even
With the
dug
Jason
holes.
mask, I'm
To
sure he
get
did.
to hunt out of the hole.
Yep. Just
Interesting.
Because we're in it's kind of bluff country, I guess you could call it. Just super rolling hills and stuff, and you get up on these points and the top of the ridges, and he's like, oh, this would be a good spot. Let's dig a hole here.
No shit.
Dig a hole 3-4 feet down or whatever, put a little seat spot in there, and that's where he'd sit, and like a little sniper nest, I guess.
That's awesome.
Dude, is your grandpa a nom?
No, he wasn't a veteran or nothing. He's just, I don't even know. He just come up with some
He's just out of the box.
crazy ideas. And it's
Did
like,
he ever reference like somebody he followed that hunted or anything like that? Or is it just all like shit he thought of?
Not really. I mean, some like Fitzgerald's and like Fred Bear, but most of it was just stuff. He's like, I think this would work, and if
Just
it
try
didn't,
it.
he'd try it, and it'd either work or it wouldn't. And
I don't think anybody has ever said, like, mentioned digging a hole to hunt out of a hole
Never.
in the
I've never heard that.
35 episodes. I don't think.
Or a hockey mask.
The hockey mask.
the
that's
hockey,
cool.
That's never heard
that's
of that
the
one.
one that's like, you're the only person. He's gone now. He passed away in 2020, but. I've never heard of anybody else having a fucking
legend.
hockey mask. To go
How many
hunting.
hockey masks do you have of his?
Oh, we got probably a stack about like that. I bet you there's 3 that are painted and probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 that are just white, not painted. They're
painted
ready
yet.
to be.
Yeah, they're
Ready
waiting.
to
waiting.
ripen. That's hilarious, dude. That's a cool thing. You got to hold on to those.
Yeah,
I should get one dipped in tartan for you.
yeah, that would be
There you
pretty
go.
bad. Yeah,
That would be cool just as like
I just think
a,
it'd be hot though. I mean,
I
like,
don't even know what they're like. I've never seen a real one. A real like hockey mask like that.
Yeah, they're tight to your face.
Yeah.
you don't.
Are they
have much-
plastic?
Yeah.
hard plastic, and then they just have like a rubber strap or whatever.
So it's legit like the Halloween mask
Yeah.
that you see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
That's just weird. Like just to picture him out like looking around in the woods. Like,
That's great.
With a
Okay.
hood up. Could you imagine that?
Sorry, I keep going back to that. I just think that's neat. Like,
So
it's like-
cool.
But the rock pile thing, that's a good idea. Actually.
And then like even like side hills and stuff, because we have valleys coming up, and you got one side hill here, another one there. You dig a hole here, and you could just watch over the whole valley, and that's just kind of how I grew up, like doing stuff. I guess
I
there
like it.
wasn't like mobile hunting I mean, there was a thing. It was he'd hop holes.
Yeah.
Just hole hopping all day.
Yeah, just
This
trench
hole
warfare.
sucks.
Yep,
Instead of stand hopping.
That or ladder stands. He had just old school shit. The fence posts, he'd weld it together. Throw them up in a tree and call her good. And there's one we call it the corner, which is so the rock pile is up there, and then the field does that L, and in the corner of the field down there's a oak tree. I bet you that thing's probably 100 and some years old. Mm-hmm. And there's a 6-foot ladder stand that he built in it, and it's grown into the tree now, and it's probably 6 inches above the ground. It doesn't even touch the ground no more. So you just crawl up in there, and that's one of my favorite spots. It's got an updraft there almost every time you sit it.
You can still get in there?
Yep.
Without the feet touching the ground.
Yeah, you just got to step onto the second rung so it doesn't wiggle as much.
It's 6 foot 6 inches off the ground now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
About an inch a
God,
year.
sketchy. The way of doing things is just cool.
Yeah. Some of his stands he had, it's like, I don't want to climb up into that. And there's times he'd tell me he'd have a big branch, kind of hanging out over or whatever. He'd crawl up in the tree and sit on the branch and shoot from there.
That's crazy. Guys used to do that.
I'd
shit.
fall out of the tree.
Yeah, I don't get to that. That's how guys used to do it.
Yeah.
Or like that's where you look up and see them old like planks from branch to
Yeah.
branch,
Yep.
and like
Yep.
I kind of get that. Like I could do that maybe, but
You see some though, like it just one 2x4 spanning 2 branches. You're like, what did you just stand on a 2x4 all day?
see, I wonder like was there more to it, and that's just what's left in
that's
there.
just what you see.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
maybe.
how I always vision. Like you ever look at them, and I always look at like, oh, there's a bunch missing, but maybe it was just the 2x4.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean,
You know,
a lot of he just had those little screw-in things on some of his, and you get up to a sketchy-ass wooden stand that he built.
yeah. It's like how long is this good for? Mm-hmm. It's hilarious.
And then
The nostalgia, man, is so fun.
Yeah.
he had a stand behind his house, so he owned 3 different properties. The property that my parents live on, which is a 40, and we live right next to them, but like 200 yards through the woods. And then the place that my grandpa lived was a 30, and the neighbor was his best friend. He had like 200 and some acres, and he's from Wisconsin. So grandpa would just watch over everything and do whatever you want on there.
Yeah.
And then he had another chunk about 2 miles away from that, and that kind of gets into like the Bluff country stuff. And that was a 80-acre chunk there. And behind his house, though, on that 30-acre chunk, he built his own frame, had like a trailer frame, put uprights on it, put a flat spot, whatever, and threw a tub up on top to sit in. And it was always known as the tub. Like that's
What kind of
just
tub? Like a feed
bathtub?
tub?
like an old school tub.
Like clawfoot tub.
Like
Oh, really?
the corrugated, like I suppose they'd be like a feed trough.
Oh.
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just sat in it?
Yep. He made a little door in there, and that was one of his favorite stands, and
I love it, dude.
one of my
Tub.
favorite stands too. But he did some off the wall stuff,
Yeah.
and it just kind of stuck with me now. I mean, I'm still digging holes, and
Dude,
like
that's
that.
great.
Still got the shovel.
Dude, but you know how rad would that be to shoot a deer from a hole with a bow?
You'd be right there.
I never
honestly-
have.
I honestly never even thought about it.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to see a hole. I hate sitting in ground blinds, let alone in the ground. But
That's the thing with like the holes. You got to be in specific spots so you don't sticking your head up,
Yeah.
looking all over the place.
Like a,
Yeah.
like a gopher.
yeah, I'd be constantly doing that.
And I've had never really opportunities on bucks or anything, but I had a smaller 8-pointer one time. He come up, and I was sitting in the top of this hill in a hole, and I wasn't really paying attention. And I heard something, and I kind of peeked up, and there was a buck, I bet you 3 feet away from me. And he
That'd be
picked
awesome.
his head up already, and he's like right here, and we just kind of both locked eyes. Both of our eyes got big, and he just busted ass out of there.
That's hilarious.
Would you shoot deer with a bow out of these holes, or is it always gun?
He'd shoot with the bow. I've tried, but I never have gotten a good opportunity
hard.
yet.
That would be real hard.
Hole hunter.
Could you like
but
pull
most
back
of
and then
them-
stand up?
Yep.
Oh man.
Dude, that's a T-shirt just for this episode, just a limited edition. We'll sell
Just hole hunting.
Hole hunter.
hole hunter.
Holes.
Hole hunting.
Doug loves to hunt a good hole.
Nothing beats a good hole.
It's fucked up, but very very cool. All right, so where's the story of this Casper buck fall into place?
He starts would be in 2021 is the first time that I ever found, or when we found out about him, I guess. And that was just by chance. I was going back, running into town for something, and there's a bean field next to my parents, and he was crossing the road in front of me, full velvet, and it was like middle of June, and he was like 130, and I was just like, oh my, like he's gonna be a stud.
Yeah.
And then that year I had another big one I was chasing. I named Brows. He just had big brows and just kind of junk everywhere. So that was the deer I was kind of going after, and I didn't really think too much about him again because we didn't have any pictures or nothing like that.
Yeah.
And so I started hunting for Brows, and ended up shooting him with the rifle during rifle season or whatever. And he was 162.
Damn.
I believe
Hell yeah.
he went and he just had stickers and kickers and stuff.
Damn.
And he was a damn cool buck. He just big frame. And so then Lee, I think it would have been that winter, we seen him one more time. He was crossing the road in about the same spot. And then come 2022, I bought a trailer, moved it in next to my parents, whatever, and started living there. And I hadn't hunted this property since I was little. I mean, when I first started hunting, that's where I kind of grew up with hunting right behind the parents' house and stuff like that. But other than that, I hadn't really done much. It was always tough hunting there because it was always rifle, and you had fucking neighbors all around.
Yeah. Shoot 'em up rally.
Yep. So anything that moved, it was getting shot. So 2022, and we started doing a food plot and stuff. A couple of those. Did a little bit of work back there and scouting and whatnot. And we found this spot. There's a big slough back there, and it kind of, the corner of our property meets with another property, and there's a field on this side, slough here, so it's just a super tight pinch, I guess you'd call it, and then it funnels up into a ridge system, which is about 150 yards below my house. And we call that the woody hole down there is where that funnel is. It's just kind of a slough bottom on one side. We shoot a lot of wood ducks in there, just flooded timber and stuff like that. And then there's that funnel that runs up. And then it splits off into two different ridges. And I was like, all right, we down there looking, and I was like, this would be a pretty, like, this looks bucky to me. I mean, you walk in there and it's just like, yeah, this seems like it's the spot. And we found one tree that would work. Since I hunt ladder stands, it was kind of limited options.
Yeah.
So we found one, threw it up. It was probably 12 feet in the air. Nothing too crazy or whatever. And then we just kind of let it sit, and that season came about, and we had pictures of him in velvet that year. And he was up on the Salt Lick and stuff, and it was just like, oh my, he's a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably 150s, somewhere in there or something like that.
Is that like exceptionally large for a deer where you're at?
Yeah.
Or is that like not too out of the realm?
150 to 170s are, I mean, you don't see them a lot.
Right.
There's a lot of 120 to 140s.
Okay.
Which I ain't going to pass one of them.
Yeah,
either.
no, it's hard to.
Hell
Yeah,
no.
it's hard to.
But then, so, yeah, he had started showing up a little bit here and there, and then he lost velvet, disappeared. I was like, okay, so we had another buck on the other property that I called Wide Load, just a big, wide 8-pointer. And so we kind of got that all going, started hunting him a little bit. And then October came, and Casper started showing back up. So I was like, all right, like, I mean, he's there probably 3 times a week. It's always at night, though, you know, crossing through. We don't really have a lot of good bedding on us. It's just kind of like big open hardwoods, and then that slough bottom down there, which we have does and stuff that bed down there quite frequently. But as far as bucks go, it's like usually they're on the neighbors,
Yeah.
at least from what we can tell. So he's just kind of using us as a crossing pad, or, you know, place to get across to get over there and not have to swim the slough. So I was like, all right, we're gonna we're just gonna hunt behind the house. We're gonna go hard until rifle season, just because I knew he was there.
When's your rifle season kick in?
Stupidest time ever. It's the first weekend of November.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
good. Yeah, thank God, Minnesota.
Yep, they're wonderful. I wish they would change it, but they're not going to.
Yeah,
And
they
are you
won't.
are you guys a $1 state?
Yep.
So you can only
Yep,
shoot
one buck. Yep. But like where we are, we can shoot 3 in our zone or whatever, 3 deer all together. So we can shoot 2 does and a buck or 3 does or whatever. Which
Can you
is-
bow hunt during the rifle season?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't. When rifle comes, it's like, all right, I'm
It is what
grabbing
it is.
Grandpa's gun and we're gonna go out and
Yeah.
just whack the shit out of something.
Get my Jason mask.
Yeah.
Find me a good hole.
Find a good hole wearing a Jason mask. God, what a horrifying public land nightmare that would be.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Get one of them glow in the dark masks.
Yeah, it's glowing.
Poke your head up.
Yeah, like a Halloween mask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
And so I guess a little something that, like, I'm very superstitious, I guess. Like, I mean, not as far as like, oh, I got to wear these certain underwear or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But my grandpa, before he passed, we started a thing. It was you take a cracker, you put horseradish on there, a jalapeno, more horseradish. We call it a big buck sandwich. You eat that, you're going to shoot a big buck that year.
Never heard that one.
And
Doug
it was-
loves it.
Holy
it was
moly.
just
I love it.
more of a he'd use the horseradish as like a cough drop. Like if he was all stuffed up, he'd
Oh yeah.
take a bite of that and it'd clear you right up.
Yeah, yeah.
And the first time he opened up the can, he's like, "Here, sniff this." And I got up close, sniffed it, and I about fucking threw up. And then after that, I was just kind of being a smart ass and started making little sandwiches, and I'd have him eat it, and I'd eat one, and he's like, "Oh, I think we call these a big buck sandwich."
I like that, man.
Dude, that's
fun.
awesome.
So now
We're doing that this year.
I'm
So
keeping
every-
that in the.
We're doing it, Doug.
it's not good.
I don't know.
Tell
was
Mr.
actually-
Kimber we're doing it.
I was actually eating those this fall.
It'll
That
put
might
some-
have been.
You were eating jalapeno and horseradish sandwiches?
Yeah, I got this
Shut
horseradish spread from my nephew. He was selling this shit for wrestling.
You lying sack of shit.
I swear to God, I sent you guys a freaking snap of it.
With jalapenos on it
Yeah.
and a cracker.
Yes.
You gotta get the
On a
good
rib.
stuff though, the coarse grind stuff from Walmart.
The worst shit.
It's just in a white label with red light writing or whatever, and it's horseradish, and it'll knock your socks off.
Okay.
This was like a horseradish
Like-
cheese spread shit.
It'll probably wake you up in the morning.
Oh yeah,
Kick you right in the nuts.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm buying it.
and I've done one ever since he passed. I've done one before every hunt. That's my thing.
I like
Make a
that.
horse. If I don't make one, I don't see shit.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, that's what we're doing, and I kind of just kept it going now. And deer camp every year, I go over to my buddy Kyle's, and we have deer camp over there, and I got them all doing it now too. So Friday night before rifle season opens up, there's like 15 of us. We all make a bunch of sandwiches, and all right, cheers. Throw them down the hatch, and half
like
of the people
that.
are out there gagging,
Yeah,
down
throwing
here
up.
throwing up.
That'd be me.
That's fun, man. That's a
That's
fun
awesome.
thing. That's a harmless hunting camp
Tradition.
thing. Yeah, that's good. Props to you for keeping that type of shit alive.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, very, I'm not really sure what the word I'm looking for is, but it means a lot to me, this like,
Sentimental type
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
For sure. Yeah, dude. That's what
Keep
it's
it
about.
going.
Very cool. All right. So big buck sandwiches.
So-
Doug's not on board. I am.
I don't think I'll see any deer because I'll be puking.
I'm in.
It's about heritage and tradition. It's
Tradition.
about being amongst them.
Just puke every time.
But okay, that's a good little. Thanks for telling that little
So then
tidbit.
do that every time before you go out or whatever. And
Yeah,
so-
superstitious, sentimental.
Yep.
Yep.
and even like the kill cap that you guys got, like, it's like, I just, even if I'm not wearing it, I throw it in the hat or throw it in my backpack.
Yeah.
Just because.
Why
it's
can't
like,
you just wear it?
It's a kill cap. It's cold though.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Let's
Yeah.
make a kill cat beanie.
You should.
Oh, we need to do that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do that.
And,
Order them right now, so by the time this launches, they're like getting made.
Yeah, no shit.
So okay, kill cat beanie. We can do that. We can do that. Noted.
So, we, where are we here? 2022. So hunting season comes about, and he started showing up a lot in October. He's like, all right, the 2 weeks before rifle, I'm going to go hard behind the house. We got multiple different spots and whatever. And I never really paid attention to, like, wind, to be honest, or really any of that shit until I started listening to you guys. And then, like, I weld for a living. So I'd just sit there and weld and burn beads all day. And I finally found you guys. I was like, all right, this is my jam here. So I just listened, went back all the way to number 1 and just started listening.
God, you animal, dude, you animal.
I can't tell. I mean, I probably didn't retain a lot of it, but it was that
playing.
background
Probably not a whole lot
noise
to
that-
retain anyway.
So, started hunting behind the house, and it was the first week, or the 2 weeks before November. Excuse me.
All good, brother. Welcome to WCB.
Yeah.
Those
And,
horseradish big buck sandwiches are coming back to get you.
So then I'd go sit down in the, we call it Rut Ridge is what I called it, where that
You got some
funnel is.
awesome names for shit.
I love it, dude. Because that's what I had growing up with my old man.
Yeah,
We'd
name
I want
it.
to go on the ridge.
Because that ridge, what ridge?
I'm on the ridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we have 4 or 5 different ridges. It's like, well, what one are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is this one.
Yep.
That one there. And I'd go sit, and it was very close. I mean, it was, if a deer come in, he was in your lap right now. You had better be ready. And most of the time, you go sit, and you wouldn't really see much. And a couple does here and there. And then, you get back up to the house, and an hour later, cell camera would ping off. You'd look at it. There the fucker is. Walking through there. It's like, come on. So I kept going at it, and I'm like, no. Okay, we're just going to keep at her behind the house. Went and sat a different spot up there, and that would have been about a week into it. And I'm sitting there, and I can hear something kind of off to my left, and it almost sounded like a buck making a scrape. And I was like, nah, that can't be. Like, I mean, I'm just hearing shit. So I didn't get ready or nothing. And I all of a sudden hear footsteps, and I look over like this, and there's a buck standing there. It wasn't him. It was another big 9-pointer that I gladly would have shot.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, God damn it, So I grabbed my bow, get
We've all
up, get
been there.
All
locked
been
on.
there. Yeah.
And he's still just looking away from me. I was like, all right. Just about to draw back, and he puts his head down, takes off. Well, there's 2 does behind me that I didn't know about, and he's sitting back there grunting, pushing them around a little bit. The does bust back out right in front of me. So I was like, all right, like, just keep following him. And I sat there for 15 minutes. It got dark. He never come through. Get back to the house, half hour, there's a 9-pointer walking by the fucking stand that I was just sitting in. It's just one thing is just how it went.
Running your ragged, yeah.
How
I'm
many times-
always one step behind.
How many times have you guys done that where you turn around, there's a buck standing, you're like, God damn it.
I've done it before, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
like, what the
he was
hell?
making that scrape, and he's antlers up in the branches and stuff, and he's like, "No, I didn't hear that."
It sounds
Like,
too
I'm
good to be true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I had
Yeah.
hardly seen much. A couple does here and there. And I was like, "No, that ain't him."
Yeah.
And I look over, like, "Oh shit," okay.
Oh shit, that is him.
Dude, that's funny. Well, that's how, when Fabio walked under me in the dark,
Yeah.
and I get a cell cam picture of him, I'm in the stand, that's what I did. I was like, God damn it. It's like,
Son of a bitch.
because how often do you get a big buck to walk
Yeah.
past you twice or come to that spot twice? Especially, it's like, well, it's dark or not dark. So,
I hate when it's dark, too, because you hear something like, but you can't see shit.
You ever try to,
You doing
like,
like the
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Pull them open.
if I focus really hard, I'll get night vision.
you're just like doing circles like
And you pull the binos out, too, because they pull in a little more light, and you're like, nah, I still can't see a fucking
see
thing.
shit.
Yeah, no, it's part of the fun.
Click the headlamp on. I don't do that. I'm just kidding.
Green light. Yeah, I sympathize with your your hilarious side quest stories. Here, it's like, God damn it. Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. And
Okay.
after him, it was 6 days I'd sat after him coming through, or that 9-pointer coming through, and I hadn't seen nothing. Hadn't even seen a fawn, nothing. I was like, okay, it's just not happening here. It's the day before rifle opener. So I was like, okay, we're gonna go to the other property where I generally rifle hunt with the bow just the day before. 'Cause nothing's happening here. I hadn't seen Casper at all. And so I get up there that night after work, and I go up, get into my spot, and got a little spike come by, a little 8-pointer, a couple does. I'm like, all right, I'm finally seeing deer again. This is nice.
That's what deer look like.
And 5 o'clock rolls around, my phone, I feel it vibrate. And I go, just look at it quick, and it's a spy point notification from home.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I didn't really want to open it, to be honest.
You just
I was
know.
sitting there, and I was like, okay, fuck it. I open it up. Sure shit, there he is, 20 yards from the stand. I'm like, oh my, like the one fucking day
It's Casper?
that I go, yep, is Casper standing there
shit.
just broad daylight, 20 yards away from the stand that I was going to go to. But I chose not to because I was like, I haven't seen deer. I just need to see deer and get my head back in the game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there he is. So, needless to say, it was like I just wanted to put that damn harness around my neck and jump off the tree.
That's it.
We're done.
Yeah, you're frustrated. Okay.
So,
Damn.
well, then rifle came, and I just was like, I'm over that deer. If it happens, maybe late season or something when I get back out with the bow, sure. But I just grabbed the rifle and went back to my little hole in the ground, and ended up shooting my target buck on that property that year, wide load, and he was like a 155, 156, this big, wide, gnarly looking deer, and
Love it.
Good one.
The
And then,
NAs are hitting hard.
oh yeah,
Big buck sandwiches.
Yeah, big bucks. They're still haunting you from season.
they do. They really come back to bite
You're probably
you.
the horseradish's favorite customer.
Yeah,
Probably run through that shit.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, they probably sell a lot more of it than they do here. In general.
So then that season's done. We started feeding them because we can feed in Minnesota after season, you
Yeah.
know, supplemental stuff, whatever. So I started putting corn out behind the house. And sure shit, there he was. He was there damn near every night eating. I was like, okay, cool. And there was him and 2 other smaller 8-pointers. I mean, they weren't small. They're probably 90-inch 8-pointers or whatever. And the one was blind in one eye. And this is where we came up with a name for him, because I was like, oh, Uno would be a cool name for him. And then that blind one come through. I was like, no, we're going to call that one Uno because he's only got one eye.
Yeah.
I was like, how about Casper? Because he's
Draw
kind of
four.
like a ghost.
Yeah.
I mean, he's there when I'm not there, and he comes at night half the time anyway. I was like, Casper, that's kind of a, cool name. He's a friendly ghost, right?
Yeah. He only is seen when he wants to be seen. Yep.
So we stuck with that, and he stayed munching on the corn and everything else we were putting out all winter. And
You ever pick up in sheds from him or nothing?
Nope.
None.
He was there one night, had him. The next night, didn't have him. And I fucking went through the whole property multiple times, never found him.
Damn.
We lost both in one night.
I'm assuming so.
Holy shit.
Somewhere along the way, but it's like, fuck, where was he bedding then? Because where I thought he was bedding, he wasn't coming from there. So I was like, okay. And the other property is like, there's not really a spot that sticks out to me that's like, oh, that's got to be his home,
yeah.
But there's all these little hidey holes everywhere. Who really knows,
Yep. Yep.
Probably in one of your grandpa's old holes, just
Yeah.
looking there laying
The
down.
sheds fell in there.
Yeah.
He jumped one of the old holes and the sheds are in the hole. You'll
Yeah.
sit in there one day for another hunt and you'll be like, oh,
No,
man.
he was sleeping in the hole.
He did better than yeah. Well,
So
damn.
then 2023 comes around, and that summer we started doing more. We put in a big bean field up above where I live. Not big, I guess, about an acre. Trying to get them to, hopefully more deer would stick around during that prime time. And had cameras out and put up a couple new little spots here and there. And then just kind of let it sit and just let the cameras do their thing. And oof, they really are hitting.
It happens.
And
This podcast is so Midwest. It hurts.
It is. Just
It's horseradish and all sorts of shit.
so then we didn't get any pictures of them all summer. Hadn't seen him. We'd seen Uno, which is the 8-pointer, the blind 8-pointer, and he looked pretty good. He's probably 115, 120, I suppose, somewhere in there. And I was like, yeah, if he walked in front of me, I'd probably whack him. And we had a couple other bucks. One I called Junior. He's the big 9-pointer that I could have shot if I'd have been ready the year before. And he came back. But still no signs of Casper or nothing. I was like, well, whatever. We had some better bucks over on the Bluff is what we call the one property. And I was like, okay, we're going to go attempt to get after a 9-pointer over there, and then there's a couple bigger 8s and stuff. So bow season comes, and generally I try to whack a doe right off the get-go just to knock the dust off.
Yep, same.
And that corner stand now on the Bluff where it's 6 feet up in the, grown into the tree and stuff, I've never shot anything out of there. I've done a lot of missing.
Yeah.
And I've gotten busted multiple times. And this past year, we put water holes down in there. We just cut one of those big, white square, got the frames around them.
Yeah.
Pulled that out, cut it in half, dug both of those in, filled them up with water. Planted a couple apple trees down there just to kind of, 5-year plan type of shit. Yeah. And opening evening, I go sit down there and the big doe walks out, sticks her head down in the water hole. I get drawn back and just whack the shit out of her.
Yeah.
She runs off 30 yards maybe, cuts into the woods. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, she 100% like she's done for.
Yeah.
And I get down, go track. Yep, there she is. Perfect. I was like, all right, now I can focus on just getting a buck. Let's see if I can get on one of these. And I think it was, I want to say October 7th, 8th, something like that. I pulled cards from behind the house, and we have a little trail going in the woods right behind the house. And I just threw a camera there just, for shits and giggles to see if anything was moving right close to the house. And pulling it up, looking through this, nothing. And all of a sudden, bam, there he is. And now our daughter's sitting next to me, and she looks at me, and she goes, is that him? And I'm like, oh my, like, that's fucking Casper. And he blew up. He is big.
Yeah.
I went running into the bedroom just dancing. Like, he's back.
And this is right behind the house.
Yeah, right behind the house, like 70 yards behind the house. Like, I could have seen him from my window if it would have been daylight.
No kidding.
So I was like, okay, like, he's for sure back. Like, that's good to know. I was like, all right. The only info I really know about him as far as, like, annual data is he daylighted one time on this spot. I'm like, what are the odds that that's going to happen again? Well, that funnel,
Depends on who you ask.
You get does up there. If he is bedding down on this side, he's going to come through there. And I'm like, yeah. And always hemming and hawing. I was like, fuck it, all right, we're just going to kind of stick around here, hunt hard. And this would have been her second year, Brittany's second year deer hunting. And she's just done rifle and whatever. And so I didn't really want to, like, hunt too hard behind the house because I didn't want to, like, fuck it up for her.
Yeah.
And then when rifle season came, there ain't no deer because I was out there.
But Daddy's got to get Casper.
Well, exactly.
She'll understand.
Yeah.
So, there's the week before rifle, I was going to just start going hard, and that was when we got that big cold front, too, that came in. I mean, everybody killed bucks.
The one that Doug didn't hunt?
Yeah.
That same weekend?
The 30th?
Yeah.
Yep.
It was like, the 25th through the 30th, pretty much.
Huh.
So I started hunting hard then, and I was going to take some time off work, leave early.
Yeah, do the thing.
Leave early and, take a couple days off, and then rifle season, I was taking the whole week. And I don't remember if I think I took off early one day, like the 28th or something like that. Didn't see much. So then I just kept hunting, whatever. And the 30th rolled around, and was going to work a full day. And the next day I was Halloween, so I was like, I'm going to take off, try to shoot a Halloween buck. That'd be kind of
Yeah,
cool.
that'd always be
That's
cool.
when your
Hey,
vacation started.
Yeah, pretty
hey,
much.
that's when you take out your grandpa's Jason mask.
Have like 50 things of horseradish.
Just really put him down, get that good luck rolling.
Really just burn it down.
So then the 30th rolls around, and I walk out from work. I work from 6 to 4:30. So I walk out from work, and it's fucking snowing. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I wasn't going to hunt tonight, but
Daddy's going.
I'm going to go.
It feels good.
So I got home real quick, ran into the house, showered up quick, and I was like, I got to get down to the Rutledge stand. Like, if it's gonna happen, there's a good chance it could happen tonight. So I get all my shit on, and good luck. Good skill. That's another thing that my grandpa and I started. Instead of good luck, it was always good skill, because you don't need fucking luck if you got skill.
Okay, I like that.
Which
I do like that.
it's. Yeah, but you still need some damn luck.
You need a lot of luck. There's some holes in the statement, but I like it. Yeah.
So then she's, good skill, and our daughter Hattie, she goes, good luck. I hope you shoot Casper. And I was like, I've got one night of pictures of him. Like, yeah, I hope I do too. But the odds of that happening are probably slim to none.
Your family's like sending you on this, like, go get him, Papa. You're like, yeah, probably not, deep down.
So I just go down, get down into the stand, take a picture, and it was just all this like a fucking storybook, this snow falling, everything's white, it's just quiet. And I'm sitting there, and I had about an hour to hunt from the time I got into the stand, because I got into the stand about 5:20, and it got dark at like 6:40 that night or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I had about an hour. And like just sitting there, and I was like, I'm not even gonna look at my phone, like nothing. I'm just gonna focus and just enjoy
Take it
the
in,
evening, And I'm sitting there, and while I'm sitting there, he comes through right here on the woody hole.
Okay, this is the woody hole.
This is the woody hole, yep.
Okay.
And so Brittany snaps me, and she goes, big buck on the woody hole. And, I'm not looking at my phone or nothing, so I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I hear a twig break over to my right, and I look over, and I can see a body of a deer, and he picks his head up, and I seen would have been his left side. So he
Okay. So
picks
kind of
his
like
head
in
up.
this photo right
Yep.
here. Okay.
And I was like, oh, I seen the split on his G2, and I was like, oh my God, that's him. Like, what the fuck are the odds of this?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was just immediately, like, my mind just started going. I was like, you need to calm down. I grabbed my bow. He was still just chilling out.
How far is he?
He's about 40 yards right where he was. Grab my bow, and there's a split in the trees like this, so I'm just kind of peeking at him like that. And I stand up. He didn't see me, nothing. He's just chilling, relaxing. And I grab my rangefinder because he's going to come through a little opening. Mm-hmm. And I figured, okay, like, that might be my shot. Like, let's just get ready. He gets through the opening. That was at 30. Dialed my sight to 30, and he just kept walking through. Like, okay, that's fine. Rolled it back down to 20 because anything around me, like the next spot it was going to be open enough to shoot him would have been within 25 yards.
Yeah.
So I just dropped her to 20, called her good. And here he comes right down the trail, right in front of me. Gets behind a tree, I draw back, and I'm sitting there like that. He comes in, opening, and it was like a game of whack fuck. He's there, I didn't stop him or nothing, I don't know why. Whack fuck, hit him back in a little low, and he takes off, because I shot him as he was taking his left leg was coming forward as he was walking, which I have never shot a walking deer. I don't know why I did with him. Generally, I always, and he stops.
Yeah.
Yeah, you crank them, yeah.
It would have been, it would have been heart shot, because I was about 3 inches behind the heart.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, shit. Started shaking, after that, and like passed through. He turned, hit a tree, fell down, got up, and just started booking it. And I didn't see him after that, didn't hear him. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it was a little better than I thought.
Yeah.
So immediately I call my old man. Now, he's hunting the Bluff, and he had just been down on the Woody Hole. He put batteries in that camera and then left and went to hunt the other property instead of sitting down in the Woody Hole. So, I mean, he probably should have shot the deer if he would have sat there.
Yeah.
So I call him. He didn't answer. So I called her. I said, I just shot Casper, blah, 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 you know, just freaking out. And then I was like, I'm just going to sit here for a while and just kind of let things chill out, and I'll be up there in a little bit. Okay. Get out the phone with her, call my other buddy, T-Berg, and he didn't answer right away either. He was hunting. So then I'm just sitting there in my own thoughts, like, God, you idiot.
Yeah.
Just replaying everything.
Why didn't you stop him? Like,
Just body bagging yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Been there.
I might have missed it. Was this morning or afternoon?
afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yep. It was right after work. It was snowing, and I was like, fuck it, we're going.
Dude, every hunter's body bagged themselves for hours in the stand. I still body bag myself over shit that happened last fucking.
A lot of whack fuck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's funny, dude.
Whack fuck. There's gonna be a lot of good T-shirt ideas from this episode.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so you're like kicking your own ass.
Yep. Just sitting there. And my old man calls me. He's like, did you get him? And I was like, he's should be dead. Yes, I hit him. It's not a horrible shot. It's not a great shot. But, like, we're going to need to give him a little bit of time, I think. I pulled out deer cast already at that point because they have that, you know, fancy
Deer cast
3D
strap.
stuff. Yep.
Yep.
And I put it on there, looked, and it was right behind the heart. But it should have been double lung, like just low double lung, and then probably some liver. So I was like, okay, like, what do I do here? And I called my cousin, and I was like, you still got that number for the deer tracker guy? He's like, yeah, sent that to me. So then I got out of the stand at that point, and instead of walking up the trail I walked in on, because he ran that direction, I cut around and went to the big field on the other side and just walked the field edge back to my parents, and walked into my parents' house, and my mom looks at me like, what the hell are you doing here? And I was like, did you see a buck run by here? And she's like, no. I was like, well, I just shot a fucking giant. And
Yeah.
I just like, I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I feel like Ricky Bobby. I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, I don't know how to feel. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, can you just give me a ride home? Yep. So I hop in. She gives me a ride home. And then I call the deer tracker guy, and he gives me another guy's number that's closer. So I call him, and he goes, yeah, I'm pretty booked up right now, but like later this evening, I could probably get out there. It's like, okay. So I asked him, I was like, well, here's where I think I hit him. Here's kind of what happened. Do you think it would be worth me going in and trying to find him? Because at that point, it was still snowing. And yeah, I found the arrow before I left, and there was good blood on it, but there wasn't much blood on the ground or anything. And with the snow falling, you know, I couldn't fucking see
You're
nothing.
fucked. Yeah.
So I called him, and he goes, well, if it is where you say it is, like, that should be a dead deer, like, within 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
And deer cast, that was about the same. It was like 4 to 6, you should wait. And I was like, okay, like, do I just
Yeah, what do you do?
do I just wait till the next day and let the dog come? But then it's like, that would be the smart idea. But then, you know, you got that little fucking devil over there, and he's like, nah,
We find him now.
Just go in now.
Trust me, I know.
Then I
Fucker's dead.
had my old man, one of my neighbors, Dan, my buddy Kyle, my buddy T-Berg. They all come over. And we all go through it, and they kind of came up with the same thing. It was like, you know, let's just go take a little look. If he's dead,
Can't call your buddies, man.
he's gonna be
talk into some shit.
there.
Yeah.
And yeah, they definitely talked me into
Going to look.
going like, yeah, maybe it was better than I thought.
Your buddy's drinking beer. He's dead. He's gotta be dead.
He dead. Go find him.
That fucker's dead.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Go
That
put
is
your
a
hands
real
on him.
problem.
Yes, go put your hands on him.
Yeah.
So
You have
then-
2 dudes you call that'll shoot you straight.
Yeah.
You need 2 dudes that you know will not sugarcoat you into making a poor decision. But anyway.
And I was like, all right, screw it. We're going in. Like, we're going to go down here. and kind of stay away from where I thought he went. And we're going to roll around to where I shot him, and we'll go from there. So we get down there, find the arrow. Goodness.
Gee whiz. Goodness.
Find the arrow. But it's still good blood. Everybody looked at it like, we should be in the clear here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No blood, so we just kind of fanned out. And it's just a strip of woods to the road, probably 100 yards wide. So we just kind of fanned out, and we were walking into the road. We had, I don't remember, we had somebody on the road watching just in case something were to cross. And we get to walking, we ain't finding blood, we haven't found a bed, nothing. All of a sudden we get to the road finally, and still nothing. And I was like, oh, what the hell? Like, well, let's just turn around, like maybe we missed something. So we turned back around and just headed back to where I had shot him. And we took a little bit of a different path in, I guess, closer to the open field edge that I walked to get to my parents.
Mm-hmm.
And we start walking in there, and all of a sudden I come up on a bed, just a little one, but there was a decent amount of blood in there. And I was like, okay, we got, blood over here. And then you can see the tracks in the fresh snow.
Yeah.
So we started following that, and we get, I don't know, probably 30 more yards, there's another bed. Like, okay, but they're old. I mean, they're frosted over, snow's over them, everything, and there was a good amount of blood in that one too. Okay. And we get down into the woody hole, still following it, and then there was one little bed, and then I think that was the only one. I think there was just one little bed, and about 10 yards away, it looked like a fucking alien took the deer. I mean, it looked like a dead horse laying there. You could see where his rack was laying on the ground, just the perfect imprint of what should be a dead deer. Like,
Really?
What the hell?
When you walk up to them, they just, they're all stiff and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? There ain't no deer here. Like, we didn't hear anything run away. Like, I don't think we had pushed them or anything. I was like, well, maybe like when I got out of the stand and went that direction, like I might have, screwed the pooch there and
not knowing.
busted him a little, not knowing. So I was like, okay. We looked, and it's still older bed and stuff. I was like, I don't know. What do you guys think? You think we should just keep going? I mean, we got tracks going up, and it goes up this big hill. And then we're like, let's just push a little bit more. So we start following it again. Get up to the top of the ridge, and we're going, and we're finding blood now. Like, not a lot, but you can see blood as we're going in the snow. And I was like, okay, like we're still for sure on this deer. And we get up to almost the property line, and there's another bed, and that one was fresh. Like, I mean, you touch it, and it was like, that's warm. And tracks going, looping around and going into the neighbors, and my heart sunk. I was like, oh, you idiot. Like, we should have just backed out when we found that first one. We shouldn't even went in. We already had a dog on the way. Like, basically, whenever he got done with the track jobs that he was doing.
Yeah.
How's Minnesota work with, like, can you track animals, or you gotta get permission?
You can track them as long as they're not posted and you have blood.
Gotcha.
So, like, you can go in and track them still if you need to. But I figured, just to be on good graces with the neighbors and whatever, I had called the deer tracker, and I said, dude, like, you're going to need permission for sure to, like, go and track this if you do come up. And he goes, yeah, I'd like, permission from the neighbor and whatever. And I was like, yep, that's fine.
Yeah,
like,
do it right. Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. So we backed out, and at this time it's like midnight now. Get out, and I'm like, got the neighbor's number from my ma. Text him, because I didn't want to call him at midnight, so I just threw him a text of like, hey, I shot a real nice buck. We tracked it. He ended up going up over onto yours. I was wondering if we could go in the morning with a dog and see if we can't find him. And so then everybody leaves, and she's sleeping. And I'm sitting there in the house, just in my own thoughts, like,
Still kicking your own ass.
like,
Yeah.
I should really go to bed, but I don't want to go to bed.
Oh, you can't.
Like, sitting there, and then all of a sudden it was 5 a.m. And I was like, okay, fuck it, I need to go to bed. Like, just get a couple hours of sleep. So I went, got a couple hours of sleep, woke up, immediately looked at my phone, and the neighbor texted me back, said, yeah, go find that bastard. I was like, all right, sweet, like, we're in the clear now.
Yeah, shout out to the neighbor.
So I called the deer tracker guy back because he was going to come that morning at like 10 o'clock. And that would be October 31st, which is Halloween. And the deer's name is Casper. Like, that's, you know.
It's adding up now.
Yeah. It's like, this is going to be a pretty cool story, you know. You can find him with the dog. So, yep, he'll be here about 10. So my old man got off work for a couple hours to come with. And then Dan, one of the guys that owns land next to us, he comes with. And it would have been Andy, and his dog was Oscar, just a bloodhound, like a brindle color, just a badass looking dog.
Yeah.
And I've never followed like hounds or anything before. So we started, well, he gets there, he kind of gives, you know, the lowdown of, okay, this is what's going to work. Like, I got a GoPro just so we can record everything, just so that my ass is covered, basically.
Smart.
It's like, okay, makes sense. So we start walking in, and we're going to go to where we last, or where he went into the neighbors, so our last spot of blood or whatever.
Yeah.
And we get up there, and he's gotten probably 2 calls on the walk. Hey, can you come help find a deer, you know? And he's like, I'm on one right now, but, you know, when we're done here, sure.
Yeah.
Get to the spot, dog starts working around, and all of a sudden he lifts his head up, and he's just, boom, just off to the races. And he's like, just stay on my ass. And I was like, okay.
That's the coolest shit, ain't
We
it?
go about 50 yards, and that dog is just doing this. And then also we come to an opening, and he just stops. And everything is snow covered. Everything's been blown over. So you can't see tracks anymore either. It's like, okay, well, that dog kept going back. I mean, we spent probably 10 minutes, 15 minutes there waiting for the dog to kind of pick up the scent again. And then all of a sudden he picked it back up and back off to the races again. I was like, all right, here we go. Going through, and now I'm starting to see blood kicking up as he's running. Like,
Oh, really?
the leaves and stuff are kicking up after the dog, and like you can see blood speckles on stuff. And it's like, okay, like we're for sure on the right deer. Like,
Yeah, because the first time you do it, you're like, this is bullshit.
Oh, 100%.
This dog's just running.
Yeah, this dog just wants, he's chasing squirrels.
He's just having fun.
Yeah.
Especially with mine, because he took off in the biggest, most open field ever. I'm like, that deer didn't run this way.
Yeah, which is hilarious.
I
Like,
know.
it's like, we're judging this
Dog that finds a shit ton of deer.
Yeah, it's like, that's all he does.
Right.
He didn't come to your house, tell you how to do your fucking job, right? Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I was sprinting for a while, following him, because
Yeah.
I mean, it was wild to watch. Just I mean,
Bizarre.
watching that dog work, it was really something cool.
Yeah.
And we're going, and we get down into the slough bottom, and there's like, I think there was 5 beds in that slough bottom with no deer in either of them. There's always blood in every bed. Kept going. We cut up through a couple more ridges, and there's a couple more beds.
Jeez.
And then we get up over the last ridge, and it drops back down into the slough bottom for the big slough back there. And there's a fair amount of cattails back there. And he goes right to the fucking middle of the cattails. And it's like, you know, this is kind of his last resort. It's either he's in here dead or he's in here dead. Like, get in there, and there's bed after bed after bed after bed. Like, he spent a lot of time there that night.
He's hurting.
And we get down to it kind of funnels down, and the cattails stop, and it's just a high bank. And then it goes into egg field. So if he was out in the egg field, we would have seen him. And he wasn't up there, but then we get down to that where the cattails end, and he double backs, and the dog goes back. And then he goes over here, and he cuts back over here, and he cuts back over there. Kind of going all over the place. And there's blood, there's blood spots and beds everywhere. Like,
Really?
he just sat in there and just,
Didn't know what to do.
yeah. So, we, no deer still. And the dog kept going there's a gap in the cattails about 1 foot wide. And he kept going out there, and he'd just stare straight across. It's like, oh, like, there's no way that deer would have crossed. I mean, it's 200-yard swim to the other side. Like, if he was hurting that bad, you wouldn't think he would have went. It's like, okay, so I sat there scanning with my binoculars on, like, the shoreline we were on, and I didn't see any rocks or anything that looked like it would have been a deer floating or anything like that. And I was like, well, shit, like, what do we do? Like, we can try to go back and see if he cut back, and we just missed it. So the dog tracker and the dog went and did that, and I just kind of stayed put for a little bit. He comes back, and he's like, yeah, I got nothing. Like,
He was here.
He had to have swam. Like, there's no other ifs, ands, or buts. Like, he should be here dead, or he swam. Well, God, you know, like, I'm going to have to get a hold of the other neighbor on the other side. It's like, I've talked to him maybe twice in my life. He just bought the place probably 5 years ago, maybe. And, like, I don't even have his number. All of a sudden, the deer tracker goes, is this his name? I was like, yeah. He goes, well, here's his number. I don't know how he found it, but he rattles off this number.
What the hell?
All right.
And I'm like, okay, call it. Nothing. I leave a voicemail. And about 2 minutes later, he calls back and he goes, yeah, is this Gunnar? I said, yeah, this is me. He goes, you're looking for a deer, huh? I said, yeah, I shot a pretty good buck, and we're pretty sure he crossed the slough, and just want to go see if we can find where he come out on your side. Yeah, go ahead, go see if you can find him. Better to you know, close the story, and then you don't have to waste the deer or whatever. I was like, yep,
That's cool of him.
Shout
thanks,
out to
sweet,
that
you
guy.
know, thank you. Like, we'll head back over that way. And so then the deer tracker guy, he's like, you want me to come over there with you? And I was like, I mean, if he made the swim, like, he's probably just above the brisket shot maybe, and he's going to survive for a while. Like, I don't know. I figured he would have been dead because we found like 24, 25 beds.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Jeez.
That's
That's
crazy.
insane.
There was no damn deer in any of them. It was just like,
He was going through a dilemma right there.
And there was coyote tracks up in the field.
Oh,
So that's what kind of made us think maybe he did go try to make
pushed
the
him
swim. Because with how many beds were there, like, obviously he didn't want to.
He must have been
but-
getting
Or he just kept going back, like, I want to go, but I'm not going to. I want to go. I don't
getting
want to.
harassed maybe by some coyotes in the mix of all that.
Yep. So I was like, okay, like, I don't know. I think it's old, overgrown pasture on that side. I was like, I don't know if he's in there. Like, we're gonna see him in there. Like,
Yeah.
Like, you can, you know, get going on your other tracks or whatever. Like, thank you. Like, we would have been screwed without you anyway.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have been able to. Like, we would have got to that one spot where everything was blown over, and I would have sat there with my thumb up my ass.
Yeah.
Going,
Yeah. What do you do?
what
maybe
direction
this
do we
way?
want to
He
go?
went that
Yeah.
way.
You would
Yeah.
just have to get
Yeah.
lucky and walk down there, you know.
And it's 4 days before rifle opener. Like, I'm pretty sure the neighbors ain't gonna want me just, you know, grid walking
yeah.
their property right before rifle opener.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we start walking back to the house, and the first neighbor that we got permission on, he calls me. He goes, "How's it going?" I said, "We're going over to the other side. We're pretty sure he crossed the slough." He goes, "Yeah, well, that's a hell of a 10-pointer. I sure hope you find that deer." I said, "Yeah, thanks. You know, hopefully we will. I'll let you know how it goes or whatever. Hang up." And I think to myself, like, 10-pointer. Like, I never told him what buck it was or nothing. All I said was, you know, I shot a good buck.
Yeah.
He goes, so I started thinking, I'm like, yeah, okay, so that kind of adds a little bit, like, he was spending a lot more time over here than I had originally thought.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Especially if he's like, oh, yeah, big 10-pointer. Like,
Yeah, your little
that's
Easter
about
egg.
the only one, you know.
Yeah.
So we get back, and I call my buddy T-Berg, and he goes, yeah, I'll come over and help you look on that side with you and your old man or whatever. Okay, so we get our shit together. He meets us over there. We grab the kayak, and he was going to go out in the kayak just to make sure, you know, if
Yeah.
it was floating out there or something. He goes down that shoreline, nothing. And we start walking to, it's like a little island that he would have crossed to. Get over there, and we find a big set of tracks and what looks like almost like a diluted blood in a way. Couldn't really tell if it was or not for sure.
On
but
the island?
Yep. but big tracks. Like, I mean, it was a buck track for sure.
Yeah.
So we found them and we followed them back through the island, and it goes down over this bank to the water edge. I get down there and I look up, and right across from me is that gap that we were looking through that the dog kept going to.
No kidding.
And I was like, oh, like, yeah, that, like, that has to be him.
It makes sense.
It doesn't
now.
make any sense if it, like, what are the odds of another buck swimming that same path?
Yeah. Right.
That night.
Bleeding.
Yeah. So, well, we turn back around and we just get back on that track and start following it. And the blood just kind of dissipated at that point. And we were just following tracks. And we get back into our property again, down into the woody hole, and he hooks up with a whole trail. There's probably 3 or 4 different deer that had walked this trail. So now I can't tell who was who. It's like, well, shit, you know, it's 6. It was almost 6 o'clock.
He isn't bedded anymore?
No, hadn't bedded anymore since he got across the slough, which I thought was weird too.
That is weird.
But he's coming back to yours, though.
Yeah, like just did a big, probably mile and a quarter loop. And we get back into ours, and we all looked at each other. I was like, I don't know what to do here. Like,
Fuck.
we've been tracking for, well, if you added the night before, 6, probably about 10 hours of tracking this son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And didn't come up with anything. All right, like, let's just back out for the night. And, you know, I wanted to go grid walk, but at the same time, I didn't want to screw up our woods and chase everything out if he was in there.
Well, especially with your mindset now, it's like you want to, but what makes sense?
Right.
Because you've exhausted
been 10
the efforts
hours.
that make all the sense.
Well, exactly.
You know, like,
So I was like, I don't know if I want to go walk through that slough, and if he is in there hurting still, and I push him more, and he goes over onto the neighbors again, and then dies over there, and it's,
Right.
you know, I ain't got blood. It's like, it's just back out, and it's 4 days till rifle. He's like, I'll probably come down, sit the woody hole one more time with the bow just to watch and, you know, maybe get lucky. If he is still alive, I'll see him.
yeah.
Nope, nothing that night. Okay, rifle season comes around. So I'm like, okay, that Saturday we'll go do a little walk. Because then if he is alive or something and he hops up, like, I'm shit pounding him with the rifle.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
So
Hell yeah, brother.
So Saturday rolls around, opener for rifle, and I'm sitting down in the woody hole. I ain't seen much, and all of a sudden, bang! I hear a shot from up on our bean field, which is where she was sitting. And like, okay, sweet. And before that, she goes, "What if Casper walks in front of me?" I was like, "You better shoot him! Like,
Yeah.
I will be extremely mad at you if you do not shoot him and he comes back."
Let's be clear.
Well, that's your deer. I was like, I don't shoot him.
Shoot
If
him.
you see him, shoot him.
Yeah.
And so I text her. I was like, "You get one?" She goes, "Yeah, I shot a doe." I was like, "All right, right on, you know."
Sick.
And about 5 minutes later, bang! Jesus.
What the hell?
Text me again. I got another one. Well, I think it might have been the same one. It was kind of limping, so I don't know if I made a bad shot or not on the first one. And it came back out, and I was like, "Well, I'll just meet you up there. I'll be up there in 10 minutes." Get up there. When we're going in the field, she had the last one she had shot just dropped right in its tracks. Walk up, it's a nice doe, and she's like, "Okay, you know, sweet, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "We better go take a look just to make sure that it wasn't 2 separate deer."
Mm-hmm.
So we start walking. I was like, "Where do you think you shot it?" And she's like, "Right about here." And I was like, "Okay." I peek into the woods. Sure shit, there's another one there. Like, okay,
Nice.
well, I guess your bonus tags are used up.
You got a busy night ahead of you.
And then my old man had shot a really nice big-bodied 8-pointer on the Bluff. And he was probably 115 inch rack, but I bet you it was 225 dressed. I mean, just a monster.
Thick boy.
Yeah.
Thick northern
Just
boy.
Big if he was a fighter.
Yeah.
That was one of them bucks that would walk into the field, and all the other ones would go, "Yeah,
Just a bully."
Not dealing with his ass today."
Yeah.
There's the asshole.
Not today.
He's back.
So we went and got hers all gutted out, loaded up, and everything. Then went and helped out my old man, and we come back, and I had him post up, and then I did a little walk through the woody hole. Walking, nothing. Jumped up a doe. Other than that, I didn't come across nothing. No blood, no bones, no crows. I mean, I'd been watching for crows, anything.
Yeah.
Didn't come up with nothing. I was like, okay, like, the odds of him being up in, like, the hardwood area where, I mean, it's thick up there, but it probably slim to none. But I was like, all right, so tomorrow, which would have been Sunday, said I'll get Kyle and a couple other guys, and we'll see if we can just go do a little walk just up on that portion. So then for sure, like, we have covered it. So we do that, don't come up with anything. So I basically told myself, I was like, he's got to be alive still. Like,
Yeah, what's going on?
and if he's not, like, I guess I'll get a hold of the neighbor and see if I can go walk around on his stuff again after season.
Yeah.
Because at this point, you know, the meat's going to be
Yeah, they're hunting,
ruined,
so.
whether if he's been dead for however long. So I was like, okay. Didn't find him. Continued to hunt rifle up on the bluff, and I was like, I don't know, do I shoot it if another nice buck walks out? Like, do I shoot that one, not knowing if this one is alive or not?
Yeah.
And basically, I didn't really pay attention at all because I got pictures of me walking in one day. 2 hours later, big 9-pointer walks out. I didn't see him. I was probably in my hole doing this.
Staring up. In the hole.
So
Just going through it.
now, basically, it would be a week after the shot.
Okay.
And I went and did 2 more walks through ours with the rifle just to, you know, be
Double
sure.
check,
We
make
still
sure.
hadn't gotten any camera pictures, nothing like that.
Triple check everything.
And it would have been about a week and a half from when I shot him. She was still hunting for a buck. And we had that buck called Uno, and he had come through the same night he did in daylight, and then he had come through another time down in that funnel or whatever. And I was like, well, we're going to set up a ground blind for you in my old man's junkyard, basically, you know, set it up by one of the old cars, blend right in.
Yeah, yeah.
Got a hold of the neighbor, said, hey, this corner of the field, if deer walks out there, can we, you know, whack one? Yeah, have at her. I was like, all right, cool. So she
Some badass neighbors.
Hey.
That was gay. You guys have done that on multiple occasions.
I know.
So she gets done with school or gets done working, and her and Hattie get home, and they're gonna go sit in that blind. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, she went in to tell Hattie to start getting ready or something like that, and she looked up out in the yard, and just up in the trees a little bit, I got a buck target up there, a couple of them out there. I took the one antlers off of my Glendale one 'cause last year. The year before that, you got the shit kicked out of it by a buck. I came home and it was just everywhere.
Scattered.
It's like,
everywhere.
okay, we're just going to take the antlers off this year.
Yeah.
And she's looking and she goes, I was pretty sure I saw a deer. And she said she was looking, and all of a sudden, sure shit, there's a buck right by that other target just staring at it. She's like, oh my God, you know, so she goes and gets her gun ready, loads it up, tells Hattie, you know, be quiet, just tell me if it moves. And she creeps out, opens up the screen door. She's holding one of our dogs back. His name's Tank, 100-pound lab. And she's holding him back with that leg. She looks out as the buck comes down, mounts the deer with no antlers. So she says, okay, screw it, pulls up on the deck, holding the dog back while the deer is humping our decoy or our archery target. And she goes, wham, shoots him right off of it. He gets off, takes off into the woods. And she said, Hattie comes running out. She goes, Mom, there's blood everywhere. And then she called me, and I had just gotten out to the stand. And I was like, oh, well, you know, it's And she just got done with work, so I was like, oh, she probably forgot something or whatever. Answer, I just shot a buck. And I was like, what? Where? I just shot a buck in the front yard. And I was like, wow, on my way, I'll turn around and come back home.
In the front yard.
That's hilarious.
So I get back home and we go tracking, and yep, there it is. Nice little 7-pointer, 1.5 old, you know, first buck for her, so that was exciting. And
Dude, I think you live in the last pocket of like classic Midwestern ever. It's like so classic.
especially out of a single wide trailer house too.
Yeah.
Just to add to
All the
it, you
neighbors
know?
are nice and
Yeah, everyone's just like, I don't give a shit. Go shoot some deer out of my
shit
field.
pound them.
Yeah. Yeah, no
So-
kidding. Yeah, single wide, add a little flavor to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little more redneck, you know.
I'm with it. Northern redneck type shit. Yeah.
So we find her deer, and you know we're all excited. Hattie got to watch the whole thing, which is cool. Just sitting in her bedroom window watching her mom laugh at deer. It's
The
like,
fucking dog got to see it too.
yeah.
Peppin' pigs playing in the background and just, yeah.
So that was pretty cool. So I helped her with that and whatever. And that was just kind of like my rifle season was more so like watching her, like helping her, like just
Yeah.
kind of living vicariously through her, I guess, because I was down in the dumps.
For sure.
And even at deer camp, everybody was like, dude, you're so, like, you weren't yourself. You barely talked. Like, you didn't smile. And I was like, well, yeah, I was depressed.
You,
Like,
didn't, you didn't eat any
I
sandwiches.
didn't,
I was gonna say that.
I didn't
Fucking
want to
A.
do anything. I was just
Get out of
like,
my head.
It shows you care, though, dude, because that throws your whole algorithm off.
oh,
yeah.
it sucks.
It just does, you know? Not fun.
So then we're, 2 weeks into after the shot. And I was like, okay, like, I'm going to do one more walk just for shits and giggles to see if I can find, like, anything. Like, I'm going to look in every little nook and cranny that I can find just to make sure.
All those places you haven't looked or normally wouldn't look.
Yep. Basically the places that, like, there ain't going to be nothing in there, I'd go check them out. So I get down into the woody hole again, and I kind of see something on the edge of the slough, and it looks like fur. And then I can see a leg bone, and I immediately, like, my heart started going. And I was like, okay, like, don't get yourself excited. Like,
Not yet.
the odds of
make
this
sure
being
for-
him
Not yet.
probably slim to none,
But it could be.
but it could be him, yeah. So I was like, okay, like, started video and walking up to it. I was like, what do we got? I grabbed the leg. It was a fawn leg, and I threw it down. I was like, God damn it. Fuck. So then after that, I got home, and old man snapped me or whatever. He's like, oh, I thought maybe you were going to get lucky. I said, yeah, I was hoping I was going to. So I don't think much happened after that, really. I just
So how many
kinda-
days after the shot are we now?
Right now we're about 17, I suppose, or yeah, about 17 probably.
Fuck.
17 days. I work, and then would have been the weekend of like the 18th, 19th, I believe,
Of November.
of November.
So we're going, the 30th would be like it'd be a month from
Yeah.
the shot. Okay.
So that weekend, I believe I did one more little scan just in a couple spots again.
Because you're not getting trail cam pictures,
No,
so it's
no
keeping you
trail-
out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like, I walked all the same stuff instead. I just couldn't not go look again. Like, he's got to be, if he's on us, he's got to be there somewhere.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, you think, okay, deadheads and like shed hunting and stuff like that, how hard it is it to find them and whatever. But there hasn't been any crows. There hasn't been coyotes howling.
Yeah.
There's
It's
been
like,
nothing.
There's no sign that he is dead.
Yeah.
So we come to, would be Monday, which is 21 days after the shot. And at work, I had been telling my buddy I work with, Todd, I was like, I'm about ready to accept the fact that, like, I'm probably never going to see this deer, and I fucked up on the biggest buck of my life.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, probably, like, good chance, like, you probably just need to, like,
Let it go.
let it go and try to get after another
Shoot you
one
straight.
this year.
Hey, just straight shooter, I
probably.
guess.
And I was like, yeah, okay.
Thanks.
And my old man, he snaps me. He goes, it's going to freeze up in the next couple days. I'm going to take the kayak out for one last hoorah just to like put my mind at ease to know for sure like he's not out in the slough. It's like, okay, whatever, have at it. We've already scanned that thing, a couple times. So
yeah,
Knock yourself out.
go for her. He gets done at 3:30 and I get done at 4:30. So he snaps me and pulling the kayak in or whatever. And that's like about 4 o'clock. And I finish up my day, 4:30 rolls around, clock out. And as I'm walking out the door, I'm getting a phone call from him. And I was like, it's only been a half hour. Would you old ass tip the kayak over or something, And I answer and I fucking found him. And I like froze. Huh? Like, what? You found, you're not bullshitting me? You actually found him. He goes, no, I wouldn't bullshit you about that. I actually found him. Like, he's right here. I'm staring right at him. He was in the slough. And I started crying. I started yelling. I fucking went and damn near tackled my buddy Todd, jumped in his arms. I was like, you found him.
oh shit.
Your work probably is like, what is happening to this guy?
Drug test that guy.
Our VP pulls up down by the parking lot and he's like, what's going on? Like, you guys okay? And I'm like, my dad just found he just found the buck. He's just like, okay, dude. Like,
all right.
Whiz quiz, let's go.
Yeah, later. Yeah.
So then I call her, then I call my buddy Brandon, I call Kyle, I called the deer tracker to tell him, like, we just found him. I called the taxidermist, said, hey, like, we just found him. I don't know what kind of shape he's in, but I'm probably going to be bringing a deer rack to you tonight. And he's like, okay. So I get home, get all the stuff ready. Todd is over there, T-Berg's over there, and Kyle was coming after work, and then my cousin Addison was coming. And my old man's already in the slough with the kayak, so we grab 2 more kayaks and head down there, and we meet him about 3/4 of the way across the slough, and all I can see is the ass of the deer sticking out of the water, and so I don't even know what he looks like at this point. And he's got him all tied up to the back of his kayak, rowing. I hook up to him and start helping get him across. And I got a video of when he found him. I don't know if you want to see that now or not.
Here, do you have an iPhone?
No.
Of course you don't.
No.
I'm just kidding. Have you airdrop it to my computer? We could just watch on the computer. Can you
know how to do that?
Does she have an iPhone?
Yeah, she has an iPhone.
Oh, yeah. Just airdrop it to Kurt's iMac.
Yeah.
If you can. Let me make sure I got this.
We're sitting there pulling him across in the kayaks now, and it's fucking he was heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Pulling something underwater with a kayak is not very fun. It's hard to believe, but it's not very fun.
Okay, so let's tell us how he found him, and then we'll watch the video when we get it.
Because he found him. So he found him. It looked like a rock. And it was right by where we had stopped tracking with the dog. Like where we had thought he went across the slough. It was probably 50 yards down from that. About 30 yards out in the water. And he sends this video and it looks just like a rock.
Yeah.
Well, I think this might be what we're looking for. I'm not going to try to get your hopes up or whatever. But I'm going to get it up to shore and see what it is. And so he takes videos and, yep, sure shit, that's him. He said he reached down with the kayak paddle because all he could see was the ass of it too. And he could feel it hitting like antlers. So he's like, okay. So he pulled it up to shore and, yep, there he was, this in all his glory.
Holy shit. So what are these photos here, which would be like what the cover art is?
Yeah, that's when we got him back onto our side. Or out of the slough and pulled him up onto shore.
So what, like,
so you were within 50 yards of him with the dog.
Yeah, but was he underwater?
Had to have been.
Had to have been. You
because I sat there and scanned that whole shoreline for.
And didn't someone take a kayak out there?
No, we were out there in kayak. Didn't see nothing.
Huh.
So give me your reaction. You roll out there with a kayak. What are you doing?
Honestly, I wasn't like I was just trying to like okay, like this is actually happening. Like we're not
Try to
going to
process
get
it
up there.
all.
Like you're just trying to like gather everything because
Yeah.
it's like it's been 21 days. Like I was just about ready to say nope. Like I'm never seeing this deer again. And then just randomly, the old man goes, "Hey, I'm gonna take the kayak out." Like,
That is random.
like, okay, like it's gonna probably freeze up, in the next couple days, and like, yeah, sure, have at her. And then
Dude,
all of a sudden, you go from the lowest to lows to holy
of
shit,
highs.
there he is, the highest to highs. Yeah,
see, I'm so looking at this photo, that's your entry,
yeah.
and
God, that
your
looks-
liver,
Yeah, for sure.
your liver. I think you just bumped him, and then I can't believe was he just rank?
He did not smell very good,
He doesn't look very good.
but like his hair and stuff wasn't really like pulling too much.
Yeah.
I think because the water was so cold, I think it kind of helped like preserve him almost in a way.
Yeah, because he doesn't look.
21 days.
I mean, he looks wet.
21 days.
Yeah, it doesn't look like
here.
that.
We got video coming in.
Okay.
Well, that's when we pulled him out of the slough.
Okay. Okay, we're getting another video here. Maybe. Thought it was. Oh. That's Doug's
Just
iPhone.
Doug.
What the hell?
All right, we'll play this one. Just pulling him out.
Yeah, this is us. Grabbing, I think we're untying him, and then we'll pull him up, I think.
No way, man. How crazy.
That's insane.
Okay, I got the one, but I don't think I got the other one. I can't believe he's not more. Oh, hold on.
Oh, now what'd you do?
Got too much going on here. Here I go. Get. All right, where is it? Where is it? Oh, it'll be this one right here. This it?
Yeah, that's the one where the old man sends to me.
Well, boys, look at this motherfucker is. Son of a bitch. Sorry you had to. God, he's fucking heavy. It's hard to get a good picture. He's a fucking monster.
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh, that dude.
Like right there, he doesn't look as bad as your photos.
No.
No, he looks
No, he
good.
looks pretty
I know for
decent.
21 days.
Yeah.
How cold was that water, you think?
It was right on the verge of freezing. So
Just above freezing.
Just above.
Well, boys. That's
Dude,
fucking awesome.
Let's play that one again. That's just so North Midwest.
Well, boys,
Well, boys.
look at this motherfucker is. Son of a bitch. Sorry
Son of a bitch. Oh, man.
God, he's fucking heavy. It's hard to get a good picture.
Yeah, when we got back in the kayaks, I thought he was going to tip over from a heart attack. He was breathing so heavy.
Oh, man. All right, here's another.
Well, boys. It's awesome.
Okay, here's another video.
Yeah, this is where he pulled up onto it.
Well, I just came across this. Not
Oh, that'd be hard to
positive,
see.
I'm trying
Holy
figure out
shit.
How to get the head up and see what it is. Hopefully, it's what we're looking for, but we'll see. Hopefully, I didn't get your hopes up for nothing.
Oh, no way.
And now
Dude, that's insane.
he had sent those videos to all my buddies.
Oh, he didn't
He
tell
didn't
you
send
yet.
it to me though, because he called me or whatever. He's like, "I'll send you the videos now." And
Dude,
yeah, I was,
Dude, that's bizarre.
I
talk about some closure.
like obviously it was meant to be because like there's no other reason for it. I mean,
That's insane.
it's-
Hold him up, dude. What is he? Let's show your camera's right here. Dude, that's a beautiful buck, too.
I measured him when he was fresh out of the water at like 170 and an eighth.
Yeah.
He was a little swelled up, and I guarantee you that I gave him a little extra.
Fuck
I'm
it.
thinking he's probably mid 160s for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt.
But he's just, I mean, mass.
Dude.
He's just heavy.
Heavy.
What a story.
That's an
Good
insane
beans.
story.
That's the
Good brows, too.
the most
Yeah.
wild recovery story ever.
Yeah.
And
Basically, never give up. I mean, if you have a feeling, like I was ready to give up, but that was still, we were 21 days in, and I was like, yeah, I'm sick of it, I'm done with it. And,
God, he's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So you think when you first looked in the slough, he was just underwater?
I think so.
That's crazy.
He would have had to have
unless
been.
he got back into ours and for some reason went back in the water and then the wind just pushed him across. But I think he tried to make that swim
And didn't make it.
didn't make it.
Because how many times he bed before that?
Mhm.
I would say he didn't make it.
God, beautiful buck, man.
Beautiful.
Because there's 24, 25 beds. It's like, if that's a long 200-yard swim.
That's
and
a long swim.
It was snowing and blowing that night, so you had waves on top of that. And
He could have just been right under, and then over time he just got
Floated
air
up
pocket.
gases
Gases, yeah.
releasing, and
So, I mean, obviously none of the meat, none of the hide was good.
No.
Like it was an antler search at that point. But still, man, good on you for getting closure for yourself, because that's the worst part, not having closure.
oh yeah,
You
they
know.
would have sat there and ate at me for.
Forever.
Yeah,
Till
shout out to
next
Pops
season.
for
Well,
just
no,
going
yeah,
to go
no
look
kidding.
some random day.
Take the kayak out.
Well, boys.
Dude.
Dude, that's so awesome.
So, are you going to do any type of unique mount with them?
We're hoping.
Just underwater?
We brought in the buck that my old man shot to the taxidermist just for him to have an extra cape in case he needed one or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I asked him, I said, you still got that cape from my old man? He goes, yep. And I said, do you think we can make that one work on this? He goes, measured some stuff out. He goes, we can see it's going to be close, but I'll try to make her work just to,
Yeah.
But,
If not, we can get you a cake.
He's got a couple other ones too,
Okay.
he said.
Okay.
But it'd be just cool to have, okay, don't have the cape, but that's the cape off the old man's buck. That
Yeah,
shot just
that is
kind of
cool.
brings it all
similar to
together.
what we did with the Gyre buck replica. We used that. This is the big nuts buck here, this lower skull.
Mm-hmm.
I shot him October 8th. So I had an early season cape we put on the Gyre buck replica. So it worked out nice. But dude, what a story.
Yeah.
That is a crazy
Congratulations.
story. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
I'm glad we found him. Obviously, I wish it would have, heart punched him and it would have just been a done deal. But then at the same time, like, I probably wouldn't be here.
Well, don't use us as the crunch for it, but it's pretty fucking cool,
It was
dude.
badass.
It's like that guy at work. Probably not.
Probably not.
Thanks, guy.
So that when he said that to you and your dad finding it was the same day?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Like, you can't make it up.
And he was pretty much all
Don't
my
be friends with
buddies
that guy
were,
anymore.
were with for the whole story too. So I mean, he'd been there. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
How many
You sent him a
times have
picture
you
like, hey, we
walked?
just found him, asshole.
Yeah.
Is this your old man?
Yep.
Oh man,
That's
is
awesome.
It was him, and then Todd, T-Berg, Kyle, and my cousin were all standing on shore when we got back.
That's
Oh,
awesome, dude.
It's such a crazy story.
That's badass.
Yeah,
Dude.
it's a crazy story, but I hope it doesn't happen like that again. Because
I'm with you on that.
No
dude.
more whack fucks.
yeah,
No more whack
just wax.
Yeah, just wax.
Great fucking story,
That's
dude.
an awesome story.
Congratulations, though, on at least recovering and getting some closure on the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
dude. All right,
And the
a
fact that it was, the stand that I sat in was probably 150 yards away from the house, which is like a backyard buck. It was
Yeah.
wild.
Oh my gosh,
How far did he make it to the slough? How far is that from where you shot him?
From where I shot him, like, he made her about a mile before he
Holy
actually went
shit.
into the
Well, you
slough.
think it,
No
bro,
kidding.
technically a pushed liver hit deer,
Mm-hmm.
man.
And I'm pretty sure, because when I said we found, like, it looked like a dead deer laying there, but there was no dead deer laying there. The way we entered to go in and originally start tracking him, he was probably laying about 50 yards away from where we entered
When
him.
you started?
So I think he
Bumped
was
him.
laying there like that, almost, he probably would have fell asleep and not
Died.
ever woke up again.
Yeah,
But instead, he laid low, seen us coming with flashlights, was like, oh shit, we got past. He got up and got another push of energy. And
made it in there.
so, moral of the story is wait until the next day if you have an iffy shot.
Yes, And then when it gets eaten by coyotes, post on Instagram and have everybody hate you. Oh, dude, that's a great story. Craziest recovery story I've ever had. I think it's 630.
That is probably the craziest one I've heard.
Dude, congratulations, man.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Hell of a buck. Hell of a story.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story with us and our listeners. And thank you to your old lady for reaching out to us.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming all the way out here.
Thank you for letting me come on here and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Anytime.
tell it.
Thanks for listening to us. Thanks for the support. Thanks for making the drive, man. This was a fun one.
Super fun one.
Damn, that got me hyped up, man. Congratulations.
I want to go hunting again.
I'm excited
So
to
do
see
I.
what you do with the mount.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be kind of, how he looks with snow on his.
The snowy one.
Yeah.
That's a good.
That would be cool.
I mean, that's how, when he come walking through, I mean, it was snow on the antler, just like that. It was just like,
Yeah.
looked so perfect when he come in. And
Our boy Austin Chandler, that's part of the crew, he did a snowy mount like that.
Yep.
And a buck he
I
killed.
seen that one,
Brutal.
I think, on his.
So yeah, if you need some reference photos, we can get you some from his and stuff like that. But that's a good idea. That'd be cool. That's pretty, You got the look, and then like a good frame of the trail cam photo with it, so people are like, oh, cool,
Yeah.
like you throw it all together. Mm-hmm. Sweet. Well, dude, anybody you want to shout out? Anything to close out the episode?
Oh, I got to make one shout out for sure to her uncle Troy, because he's a big time listener too.
Oh, thanks,
Oh,
Troy.
shout
He's
out,
from
Troy.
Wisconsin. I think he's gonna go up to the Wisconsin show by the sounds of it.
Awesome.
Oh, sweet.
We'll see him here in a couple weeks, a few weeks.
Other than that, it was thanks to my mom and my dad and
Everybody in the recovery story.
definitely my old man.
Oh, for sure.
And then just T-Bird, Kyle, Todd, Addison, Dan, everybody that was on the track, and
Yeah.
just kind of tried to keep me in good spirits. And
Yeah.
Except the guy you work with. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. We know you're listening. Fuck you.
You're cool. You're cool. Fuck you.
Probably not.
That is hilarious, kind of, though. Probably not.
We're just kidding. Whoever you are.
Yeah, you're probably a really awesome dude, actually. And you're
He's just shooting straight.
a shoot
Well,
straighter,
yeah.
and you're probably a really good person to someone in their life. So, but for the sake of this right now, fuck you.
You're not that person.
You're not that person right now. That's funny, man.
Yeah, he's-
Good story.
he's big. And then I seen the big one that you shot this year. I was just looking at them. I was like, God, they kind of have same, characteristics.
same
a little
split
bit,
and
same
everything. Split too, yep.
and
Yeah, the fact that they're all wet.
that was
Yeah,
another thing. Is,
what the hell?
Damn near the
was
same
found in the
story.
slough, and
Yeah, it was found in a creek and 1.3 miles
Jesus.
away. And
Dude, Mark Reif lost a buck to that river,
yeah.
like right into it. It's like, damn, what do you do? What do you do?
What a
Doug, what do you think about all this?
it's an awesome story. Congrats.
thank you.
That'll be a good story to tell from years to come. Like just sitting around eating your
Yeah.
big buck Sammys.
And then it's just weird because I named him Casper, And then the day we lost him, it was Halloween.
The fucker
It
disappeared.
So it's like, I don't know, just how kind of things worked. It was just like you start thinking about all that. It's like, well, that's kind of wild.
It's
I mean,
weird.
Just
It's weird.
weird how everything works out.
Don't name a deer, Casper.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that what you're saying?
Do not name a deer after a ghost.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
The next one is named like didn't go 20.
Yeah. That's Mr. Didn't Go 20. Yeah. That's what Uno will turn into that. What do you got, Eric?
Nothing, man. That's an awesome story. Crazy story. And thanks for making the drive down and telling the story.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Closure's good, brother. No matter
Oh,
how you
it
get it,
is.
even if it's not the most, the way you want it to work out, it's good. So congratulations.
He'll at least get the respect he deserves up
Yep.
on the wall.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He'll be appreciated in ways he
yeah.
wouldn't have been appreciated in the bottom of the slough.
Yep.
A lot of
exactly.
people would have
And that's the thing,
never
like,
found him.
If the old man wouldn't have went out and it would have froze up, okay, like maybe we would have found him because he would have maybe been frozen a little bit up in the ice. And
Yeah, maybe.
The oats would have got him. But
Angry fish don't eat dead shit in the water?
the odds of that, well, I don't know, they might.
Piranhas.
And the slough?
Minnesota Piranhas. Yeah, I've heard of them. That's a sports team up there or something, isn't it? The Minnesota Piranhas. No,
Yeah, it might
If
be
it ain't,
now.
it should be
sounds
now.
like a hockey
Start
team up
one.
there.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna start a hockey team called the Piranhas.
All right.
Hey, what's up,
Hell yeah.
dude? Congrats! Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks everybody tuning in, watching, and listening. You know what to do. Go shoot your bow. We love you. Peace.